So, Bulletproof, who is also called Zandale Randolph, was born to Mr. Randolph and Harriet Randolph. He also had a twin brother, Tyrone. Zandale's parents strongly favored Tyrone over Zandale. While his brother pursued science, Zandale pursued painting and a carefree lifestyle. Zandale soon discovers Tyrone's obsession with superpowers. One night, Tyrone would drug Zandale and have Zandale be an unwilling subject in his brother's superpower project. Since Zandale and Tyrone were identical twins, their DNA was the exact same, and Tyrone thought it would be perfect if the project worked on Zandale. His project would be a success, and Zandale would get superpowers. However, Tyrone would be killed and disintegrated in the process of experimenting on his brother. So Zandale would learn to control his powers to help others and fight crime occasionally. He would adopt the name Bulletproof as his superhero name. Later, Zandale would try out for the new Guardians of the Globe, although he wouldn't make the final cut. But he is later added to the team because the Guardians liaison felt his flight ability was needed. His first mission would be to stop an alien invasion with other Guardian members. They are successful, but only because the aliens retreat. After the invasion, Robot is removed as the leader of the team, and Immortal is put in his place. Later, while Invincible attempts to take down Machine Head with Titan, the Guardians are sent to assist Invincible. When they arrive, Bulletproof and Black Samson attempt to fight the Battle Beast. However, the Battle Beast almost kills them, and the duo is left to recover from their injuries. Robot would visit Zandale in his recovery, with Zandale disagreeing with Immortal being the leader. He believed that Immortal does not care about him or any other member of the Guardians. After Zandale recovers, he and the Guardians see the aftermath of Mark's battle with Mauler and Angstrom Levi. Later, Zandale and many other superhero factions attempt to stop a villain named Omnipotus, a being who threatens to take their reality's cosmic energy. But Omnipotus is defeated by Black Samson, who recovered from a coma and also regained his full powers. Zandale and the other Guardians later attempt to stop a villain named Mastermind, a person who can control minds. Invincible stops him by dropping a rock on him 500 meters in the air. Zandale and the other Guardians would be one of the few to see Robot as a clone of Rex. He would also be present in finding out about the Immortal and Duplicate's relationship. After hearing the news of Martians coming to attack Earth, Cecil would interrupt and send anyone on the team with strong skin tissue to Mars to stop the Sequids. Zandale sleeps in their ship until the Sequids destroy their ship. Eve creates a force field for those who can't breathe in space, and Immortal, Invincible, and Zandale push towards the bubble and crash into the Martian ship. While the Martians dispute with Shapesmith, Zandale smashes one of the Sequids, alerting the other ones of the Guardian's presence. Robot manages to use a pulse to knock away the Sequids. The Sequids still manage to overwhelm them, and Eve forms a barrier around Zandale and the others. But soon, the barrier collapses, and Shapesmith uses his shape-shifting to guard him, while Robot tries to use the pulse again. When Robot completes it, Mark grabs the device after a brief dispute with Immortal over who should deliver the final blow. Mark emits the pulse and rescues Russ Livingston. Then, the Mars ruler thanks them, but says that Shapesmith will be executed. However, the Guardians decide to take him with them to Earth and escape the Martians. Afterward, Dr. Seismic would summon Magnemite monsters to all over the US, and Zandale fights them with the Guardians in Utah. But they are all captured along with many other superhero factions and are saved by Reanimen and Darkwing 2. Later, Zandale was relaxing with Robot, Monster Girl, Shapesmith, and Rexplode. Just then, Mark crashes into the building and seeks their aid. They accept it after Cecil emits a frequency into Mark's ears that causes him severe pain. He joins the Guardians to protect Invincible, is restrained by one of the Reanimen. After Cecil retreats, Zandal also decides to quit the Guardians and move to the former Teen Team base. Later, Bulletproof was one of the many heroes to respond to the call of the alternate versions of Mark attacking their reality. He would lose his hand battling one of them. He rescues his Rudolph Connors, Monster Girl, while Rex turns himself into a suicide bomb to kill one of the evil Marks. Bulletproof gets his wound bandaged and finds out that Angstrom Levi was behind the whole event. He goes to attack him, but Bulletproof is knocked back by Angstrom's orbs, and when Angstrom escapes, he is transported for medical attention and received a new artificial hand. Zandal would arrive with the other Guardians and other superhero factions to help assist in moving the debris after the Invincible War. He would also arrive to see Mark, who was nearly killed during his battle with Conquest. He would later attend Rex's funeral, looking on with sorrow after losing his teammate. Then, before Mark left to fight in the Viltrumite War, Bulletproof and the other Guardians would have him assist in stopping a Flaxan invasion. They are successful after Robot finds out what is suppressing their advanced aging. Robot and Monster Girl would head into the Flaxan dimension to stop their threat once and for all. Meanwhile, while Mark is away fighting in the Viltrumite War, he would help Eve with the Invincible Incorporated business. He starts wearing Mark's costume so that people may think that it's Invincible who's helping them. After Monster Girl and Rex had returned from the Flaxan dimension, the Guardians would throw a welcoming party for them, which Zandal would attend. Zandal would attempt to sleep with Amanda, but she refuses him. Next, Zandal would rush to orbit with other Guardians to see that Mark, but Thrag, Alan the Alien, and Oliver Grayson were also there. Zandal asks that the foe come to Guardian custody, but Mark refuses. They end up battling the foe, and the battle takes a turn when Oliver flies into Earth. The Guardians go to the Viltrumite warship after Mark was infected with the Scourge virus. Zandal comforts a grieving Eve. While Mark is out of action, Zandal decides to help Eve again with the Invincible Incorporated business. He removes his cornrows and shaves his facial hair so he looks more like Invincible. Zandal would handle the Walking Dread after he attacked an electrical plant. Zandal takes him down and flies over to the Grayson household and sees Eve crying. Zandal believed Eve needed sex and offered it, but Eve refused him. He flies back to his house, regretting what he said to Eve. Carla awaits him and they sleep together. After mentioning his new job as Invincible, Carla begins to cry and asks if he slept with her like he did with Outrun. Zandal assures her he hasn't, and to make it up to her, Zandal takes her out for dinner. Their date is interrupted by Eve needing his help in fighting Dinosaurus. Zandal rushes to Dinosaurus's base and attacks him, believing he kidnapped Mark. Alan and Oliver come in to help as well, and Mark attacks Alan, causing severe damage to his arm. Bulletproof later goes with the Guardians to stop Octobos, and their combined efforts defeat him. Zandal flies home and notices Carla crying. Carla reminds him of her low culinary skills and begins to cry. Carla reminds him that Zandal's parents are coming over. He uses his super speed and cleans his apartment. Carla wishes that Zandal reveal the truth about Tyrone, but Zandal refuses to. He notices the Flaxan invasion of London and rushes to it, while lying to his parents about it. While fighting, the Flaxan leader arrives and Zandal attacks him. Robot intervenes and Zandal evacuates the citizens. After Monster Girl defeated the Flaxan leader, Zandal headed home with a broken arm. Carla reveals that his parents are still there and he would have some explaining to do. Zandal reveals about how Tyrone was killed by his own experiment and how Zandal would pretend to be him so that his parents wouldn't believe what Tyrone did. Zandal would go on to say that he now knew how much Tyrone was favored over him. Zandal's parents refused to believe him, and his mother threatened to call the police, believing he killed Tyrone. but Carla smashes her head with a skillet and Xandal's father begins to pummel her. Xandal attempts to stop him but snaps his neck, killing him in the process. In order to cover what happened, Xandal put his parents in their car and dropped it over a hill, making it seem like they died in a car accident. He would later attend their funeral to cover Carla and his role in their deaths. Xandal meets with Mark after Mark recovers after losing his powers, and Mark lets him keep his old costume. Then, after hearing that Dinosaurus had planned to set off a bomb in Los Angeles, Xandal and the other Guardians set off to evacuate citizens. Then, during Mark's battle with Dinosaurus, Xandal was one of the many people to see Mark's death on live television. Xandal later learns that Mark isn't dead and defends him from an angry Rex, claiming that everybody makes mistakes, and at this point, he was probably referring to when he accidentally killed his own father. Later, when Rex proceeds to take over the world, some of the Guardians of the Globe manage to escape Rex, but the rest are killed. Xandal betrays his teammates and allows Rex to capture and imprison the majority of the rest of them. Later, Xandal works with Rex to capture the Immortal. However, the Immortal activates a bomb inside him, blowing himself up and permanently scarring half of Xandal's face. The Guardians manage to escape, though later half of them end up working for Rex anyway. Rex offers to fix Xandal's face, but he replies that he wants to keep it this way, to remind himself of all the horrible things he has done, like killing his own father and betraying his friends. After this, he lives with the scarred face for years and works for Rex. Years later, when Invincible becomes the emperor of the new Viltrumite Empire and attacks and kills Rex, Bulletproof is left with no other choice than to surrender. After this, his fate is unknown. However, it's possible that he was imprisoned by the Guardians of the Globe. So yeah, that's all for this video and thanks for watching.